Now for our second hot copy, Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno warns removing the 75 billion peso allocation for the DPWH in the 2019 budget may affect jobs that were supposed to be created by infrastructure projects. Diokno says it may also slightly delay progress under the government's Build. The allocation was deleted by the Senate last Tuesday following a motion by Senator Panfilo Lacson.
I hope the senators realize that when you take away 75 billion of infra, okay, that reduces our commitment by about half a percentage point, okay, roughly, okay, half a percentage point, and that has an impact on employment, on poverty, because if you don't get jobs, of course you will be one of those who are poor, right? And then of course it will also delay a little bit, not too much maybe, our commitment to make up for past neglect, okay, in infrastructure.
All right, joining us in the studio this morning is Senator Panfilo Lacson. Senator Ping, thank you for coming to Kiad Start and a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Karen, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be back.
Thank you, thank you. All right, the 2019 budget, the country is now using a reenacted budget.
Yes.
And what is it exactly about the 75 million pesos? Billion pesos that was added to the DPWH that is questionable, considering Secretary Diokno on Kiad Start said, Karen, we can do that. We make the budget.
During my interpellation on the 2019 budget, on the DPWH 2019 budget, I asked the sponsor, of course, but it was really addressed to the Secretary of the Public Works and Highways. And he did not know. See, Secretary Villar never had an idea where the 75 billion came from.
He did not know.
And he was not part of the planning of how to spend the 75 billion. So when I asked the sponsor, or when I asked him through the sponsor, if it was okay for us to delete, he said yes.
So my question first, is it wrong that DPWH Secretary Mark Villar did not know that 75 billion was added to the DPWH?
It is wrong.
It's wrong.
Because he is the department is the implementing agency. So the first question is asked, how could the department implement something that they did not know about? You know?
Now, is it considered an insertion?
Well, Secretary Diokno called it an adjustment,
yeah,
which may be the more appropriate term, you know, adjustment. But, you know, what Secretary Diokno may not know is that the 75 billion is no longer in its original form. Because the congressmen, remember, there was a controversy when there was a change of leadership,
yes,
you know, and they fought about it. You know. The 75 billion originally inserted or initially included in the NEP, in the National Expenditure Program, was already mangled beyond recognition by the congressmen, because the 75 billion originally set aside for certain projects were already amended by the second GAB, meaning the second General Appropriations Bill, or the House version. Remember, earlier on, they already approved on second reading the House version of the bill. But then when Speaker Arroyo took over, Speaker Arroyo and her group took over, they again formed a small committee, according to them, and just disregarded the approval on second reading. They cannot just do that. In the case of the Senate, we had to do it in plenary. Somebody who voted in favor of the measure within 48 hours could move for reconsideration.
Okay.
So ibabalik ito ng pre-second reading, balik sa interpellation amendment sa plenaryo. But what they did, they just formed a small committee, and this is by their own admission, na hindi na, baliwala na yung second reading approval noong previous leadership. We are now approving it on second reading and eventually third reading dito sa bagong leadership.
Oo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, ang House Majority Floor Leader Rolando Andaya was here and he claims the reason they questioned the first budget was that Secretary Jokno could not explain why the likes of former House Speaker Alvarez got 5 billion, Fariñas got 3.5 billion, Carlo Nograles got 4 billion, and other congressmen got 400 million. In fact, he mentions that it was unfair that you had said House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo got the largest at 2 billion when she is number 50 in line in terms of pork amounts.
I won't buy that.
I won't say pork amounts.
Number 50 or number 99, meaning all the other congressmen ahead of her would be getting at least 2.5 billion each.
Yeah.
Ubos na yung budget. Kasi kung 100 congressmen times 2.4 or 2.5 billion each, you can just imagine how many billions of pesos.
Okay, right.
Mukhang di tama yun. Mukhang it doesn't make sense na number 99 ang narinig ko eh. 99
that Andaya was 90-something, GMA was 50.
Yes. But, you know, having said that, yung 75 billion, initially, Congressman Andaya thought na 51 billion lang yung involved doon.
Yeah.
He was himself surprised when during the question hour, Secretary Jokno corrected him.
Yeah.
No, Your Honor, it was it's not actually 51.7 billion but 75 billion.
Okay.
So we tried to do some forensic do sa 75 billion. And na-trace na namin kung saan na talaga napunta.
Saan napunta?
Well, yung 51.7 billion, yun yung napunta sa yung 31 billion of that, 20 billion of the 51.7 billion. Ito yung sinabi nilang equally distributed to all the 297 congressmen.
Of how
so
much
that's,
each?
60 million each.
Okay.
Yung 50 million
But
for
is that
hard.
legal? Distributed
Well,
60 million
yun nga yung
for
medyo
what? Yeah.
para may argumento doon. Because bakit mo bibigyan? Anong planning ang involved? Ba't mo basta binigyan na lang ng 60 million yung bawat kongresista? Sino mag-i-implement?
Yeah.
So, that's the reason why we have so much unused or unutilized funds in the budget year in and year out. Kasi nga, congressmen and even senators, during the period of amendments, even before terminating the period of interpellations, nagsasabit na ng mga amendments. And saan manggagaling yung amendments? Kung walang consultation man lang sa mga agencies na mag-implement, how would the agencies implement that or those projects?
First is, are you joining the BICAM? Because I think you have, even Andaya said, I want Senator Lacson to be in the BICAM.
I will be a member of the BICAM, be a vice chairperson of the Committee on Finance.
Okay, so the 75 billion is completely, finally out of DPWH. Because they may lobby to retain some.
No, yung sa 75 billion, ang naiwan lang sa DPWH doon, mga 7 billion.
Okay.
The
For
rest
right of way or iba pa?
Iba-iba.
Iba-iba.
Iba-iba yun. May mga projects doon. But remember, 51.792 billion, 20 billion, yun yung equally divided among 297 congressmen. So yung 31.792, ito yung napunta sa NDRRMF, tapos Local Government Support Fund, DPWH, Farm to Market Road projects, maraming pinuntahan.
Okay.
Ang naiwan lang sa DPWH doon, 7 billion.
Okay.
So, yun yung kinapaan namin and we found out na meron nga mga lumobo from allocations to some congressmen under or allied with the former leadership, napunta na ngayon sa mga congressmen
new leadership
na allied naman sa new leadership. Okay. Ang mga lumobo doon, napansin namin, 2nd Legislative District of Pampanga, yung first or a congressional district in Camarines Sur.
So that's Arroyo, Andaya.
May napunta sa Surigao Sur.
Sino yun?
Most probably si Butch Pichay.
Okay, oo nga pala.
And then merong napunta sa Bohol. So most probably kay Art Yap. So ito yung mga malalapit naman doon sa bagong liderato.
So kumbaga nagpalit lang nung kung saan inilaan ang pondo.
That's what I describe as a pork-to-pork realignment. So nanggaling sa pork from the previous leadership, napunta sa pork sa bagong leadership.
Okay.
We want to correct that.
Yeah.
We want to at least, well, it is within our right under the Constitution, it is within our mandate to amend. But at least man lang, mag-consult man lang tayo doon sa mga agencies na mag-implement. Because, for example, nagpunta sa akin yung DILG. Sabi nila, sir, baka pwedeng ma-restore yung pondo namin sa public markets, repair, construction. O bakit? Ano nangyari? Merong 900 million initially sa NEP, no? Sa President's budget. And then all of a sudden, naging 600 million. So sabi ko, saan napunta yung 300 million? Sir, napunta sa public cemeteries. So, paano naman ma-equate mo yung development sa public cemeteries?
Yeah.
And in the first place, yung public cemeteries naman, may mga income naman yan eh, nag-generate yan. And kaya na ng local revenues na magpondo doon sa public cemeteries, sa maintenance. So, binalik namin yon. One of my amendments is to restore the 900 million for the repair and construction of public markets.
Okay. Now, very quickly, you also wanted, correct me and you can give the exact figure, the 75 billion for the 2019 budget realigned for slopes, roads, protection in Northern Luzon for Baguio, La Trinidad, Itogon, Sablan, Tuba, and Tublay. Is it the whole 75 billion or no?
Just a portion. But
How much?
But DPWH argued that they can do with the 590 million pesos na naka-allocate para do sa road construction. Because I was telling them, there's already 460 or 480 million in 2017, another 800 million for 2018, and they're asking for another 590 million for 2019. And I told them, 75% of the road construction do sa BLIST project hindi possible because nagkaroon ng landslide. Because there was no coordination or prior coordination with the Mines and Geosciences Board na yun ang nasa batas yun eh. At saka nasa GAA na dapat before mag-commence yung projects na prone to landslides, dapat mag-coordinate kayo to identify areas na kailangan ng slope protection. Which they agreed. Ano? Sabi naman nila, okay, never mind, wag nyo na kami bigyan doon sa sinasabing 75 billion. We can do away with the 590 million instead of utilizing that for road construction, gamitin na namin sa slope protection.
Okay. Now, this is a billion, this is a budget highest ever of more than 3 trillion.
The highest was for last year, 3.767.
If I were to ask you, do we really need to realign the 75 billion or just scrap it off completely? Because Secretary Jokno said when you talked to him, it's actually I just added the 75 para yung budget ng DPWH maging 555. It's
There's no problem with that. Ang problema lang is, dapat kinonsult niya yung DPWH para alam ng DPWH na, or nakipag-discuss muna sa kanya sana, mas magandang dito natin gamitin, ito yung mga prioridad, ito yung kaya namin. But there was no consultation whatsoever.
Yeah, so Senator, the accusations, I want to ask you, the accusations of Congressman Andaya against Secretary Jokno, putting into question Jokno's credibility, even calling him a conspirator of corruption in choosing his relative's construction firm in Sorsogon. Do you believe honestly that there is some truth to it?
If I know Secretary Jokno correctly, I wouldn't believe sa Congressman Andaya.
No. So what
maganda naman yung solid naman yung reputation ni Secretary Jokno pagdating sa integridad.
Yeah. So what do you think happened? Why would you said, why would, I mean, he's experienced, he's done the budget before. Why would he just put in 75 billion without consulting the
Well,
What's the
probably
motive?
there was pressure somewhere or from Congress, sabihin na natin, na kailangan namin ng mga projects, instead na we will still amend. Baka pwedeng sa iyo na kami magpaalam, eto yung mga listahan ng projects, pondohan mo na lang.
Would you consider that honestly pork? Because Secretary Jokno defines it that, Karen, when a congressman identifies a project that they need in the province, as long as they don't do the SARO, they don't, it's not pork. It's identification of a project.
They have oversimplified the definition of pork as per the ruling of the Supreme Court. Ang sinabi ng Supreme Court, pag pre-enactment, hindi pork. Meaning, kasi dati, di ba, kaya pork, maliwanag, 200 million per senator, 70 million per congressman. Pero yan, naka-lump sum. And then after the GAA has been passed, saka palang mag-identify ng mga projects yung mga legislators.
Kumbaga
That's
may
really pork.
nakatabi ng budget.
Na lamsam.
Oo.
Hindi pa alam kung paano implement. Ang nangyari ngayon, sa period of amendments or even during interpellation or even sa NEP pa lang, naka-insert na yung mga projects ng mga congressmen. Tanong, saan ang galing ang planning noon? Sino yung alam ba ng mga local government units? Remember, Karen, under the local government code, congressmen are members of barangay, municipal, city, and provincial development councils. They can argue their cases there. When they're crafting the local development plans of the respective municipalities and provinces, they can participate. Di ba mas magandang procedure para mawala yung disconnect between the needs and priorities of the local government units and the national budget? Dapat ang discussion nanggagaling mo doon. And then, pag-akyat na sa RDC, where they are naman members of the advisory committee, yung mga congressmen, district representatives. I-argue nila doon, pagdating sa NEP, nakasama na doon yung pinag-usapan nila sa local development plans, naka-incorporate, and then pagdating sa House, siya lang mag-shepherd, na ipoprotektan nila. Hindi, diniscuss namin ito sa municipality of Imos, for example, or city of Imos. At ito, napagkasunduan ng local development council, kasi multisectoral yan, may mga NGOs pa doon, may mga CSOs. So mas mainam yung ganun because the needs and priorities of the local government units, even in the remotest areas, are addressed.
Okay.
Ang problema ngayon, merong budget, naka-allocate sa isang district, hindi naman kailangan ng city, hindi naman kailangan ng municipality. Why? Because yung congressmen never participated in a discussion at the local level, pagdating sa Congress or pagdating sa DBM, doon na lang nakipag-coordinate.
So you still consider that pork?
Well, in so many words,
Yes.
yes, that's
It
pork.
is.
Because ang sabi ng Supreme Court, pag merong duplication at saka parang overlapping or overriding ng needs ng local government units at ito'y whimsically sinama ng mga legislators, that's pork.
Okay. This 75 billion, you have some senators saying that it should be transferred to health for it to be realigned to health.
Yes, we have a consensus na yung 27 billion, I think, yung na-slash from the budget of the Department of Health. Parang merong 30 billion doon na biglang naging 50 million. So sa tingin ng mga senador, teka muna, health yung isang priority natin, bakit naging 50 million na lang? So Senator Drilon, the minority leader, sabi niya, since there's 75 billion na hindi naman alam ng DPWH and even DPWH is amenable to deleting it altogether. But remember, Karen, we cannot recognize anymore the 75 billion adjustment.
Insertion,
Wala na yun Wala na.
Because it's all mixed up somewhere.
It has been mangled already during the deliberation or during the amendment sa House of Representatives. Na-identify ko nga yun, yung mga staff, of course, and I discussed this with my colleagues in the Senate. Hindi nyo na makikilala beyond recognition na yung 75 billion.
Meaning you can't find it in lump sum. You can't. Yeah.
We can only find it in the GAB 2 or the House version that was transmitted to the Senate.
Okay.
Doon, na-identify namin yun
Okay.
So, yun ang pwede namin tanggalin, bakbakan ito sa Baikal.
Secretary Piñol was here on the show and of course, Agri has been called the weakest link in our economy. And Secretary Piñol said, you know, Karen, the problem is, that, you know, they say they support Agri, but they don't really, he claims, no? I mean, the budget for agriculture has gotten smaller from 60 billion down to 49 billion. Why didn't you all consider putting it in agriculture?
Because we already passed the rice tariffication bill, and it is an enrolled bill about to be signed by the President. Meron doon 10 billion pesos.
Inside, okay.
Sa loob, popondohan yon from DIGA na ibibigay sa mga farmers para i-subsidize, para tumaas yung subsidy yun So, that will take care of that. Kaya hindi na naisip na lagyan pa natin. But look, Karen, yung 75 billion originally na naging 51, yung 31 billion na pinaghati-hatian, merong napunta sa DA doon, farm-to-market road projects. In the 2nd Legislative District of Pampanga alone, sa NEP, meron na doong 5 farm-to-market road projects. And hey, nung lumabas yung namanggal yung 75 billion, naging 500 million pesos worth of farm-to-market road projects in one district alone.
And that's too much.
That's too
Okay,
many
go. Yeah,
projects
go.
because
Oo.
500 farm-to-market road projects in one district. How can you beat that? How can
So-
they implement that?
So you really believe, you're saying that there was such a preference, really, to House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and her allies.
Well,
also
whether she
considering
knew
she
about-
is leaving.
Whether she knew about it or not is another matter. I don't know that.
Oo.
But the fact remains, because the record can bear me out, na yung gap na pinasan nila sa amin, tinransmit sa amin, nakita namin merong 500 million pesos worth. Naging 69, from 5 to 69 farm-to-market road projects worth 500 million pesos.
Wait, 5 farm-to-market roads, it ballooned to 69 farm-to-market roads in Pampanga alone?
Na nanggaling doon sa 75 billion pesos originally.
And of the 69 farm-to-market roads, each one costs 500 million?
No, yung total.
Okay.
500 million pesos worth of farm-to-market road projects in one legislative district. Ngayon lang ako nakakita
In one legislative.
Ngayon lang nakakita ng ganon.
In all of Pampanga, how much?
Hindi na, kasi
You
by
did na-
district
oo.
namin in-examine
Okay,
by
oo.
district, yeah.
Okay, all right. So will you take that out? Are you able in the BICAM to remove that?
Effectively taken out because tinignan namin lahat yung farm-to-market roads, binalik namin sa NEP. Kung ano yung ipinasa ng presidente, ng cabinet, or ng Malacanang na transmit sa House na ginalaw nila, binalik namin sa original. So,
But when
we
you
took
put
out,
it in NEP, which is National Expenditure Program
Yeah.
for our viewers, because it's a
Yes.
jargon. I mean, where does that go?
yung nabawasan siya ng 6.1 billion pesos. Ang original total amount for the whole country, 11 billion. So, nung nagkagalaw-galaw na nga, na may napuntang malaki sa ibang lugar, binalik na lang namin doon sa President's budget yung farm-to-market roads. From 11 billion, nabawasan siya ng 6.1 billion.
Oo. So it's back to the president's budget.
Yes.
Now, speaking of that, you've been calling on also Secretary Jokno to release the 4th tranche of the government pay hike. So has Andaya. In fact, he filed a case in the Supreme Court because you said that he can actually from the miscellaneous personal benefits fund.
Malaki yun eh.
Yeah, but Jokno keeps saying, I cannot unless the 2019 budget is passed.
I understand where he's coming from. He's trying to pressure the Senate or the Congress to pass the budget as soon as possible, which we're doing naman eh.
Oo.
So, parang kami naman, wag mo na lang kaming lecture na parang kindergarten na napaka-responsable namin because it's not our doing. No? Na, hindi naman namin to misdoing na na-delay yung budget because ano bang gusto mo, wag na namin scrutinize. No? Especially so, na may nakita nga kaming mga questionable or anomalous realignments of funds. So, yun ang ginawa namin. So, ngayon, today, we're going to approve the budget on second and third reading.
Today.
Today. Given na yun, kasi tapos na lahat kami.
Oo.
And by tomorrow, or later today, we're going to constitute ourselves into a bicameral conference committee, at least yung Senate. And I hope tomorrow morning, we can already meet in a BICAM.
Yeah.
Now, the problem, BICAM, this is going to be a bit bloody.
Yeah.
Because there's a wide discrepancy between the Senate version and the House version. So much so na yung maraming tinamaan doon, ito yung mga bagong realignments ng bagong leadership.
Yeah.
Now, si Congressman Andaya, I just heard that was moved to being Appropriations Committee Chair from Majority Leader. So he can
just
face
now?
us. Kahapon
That's
ko lang
quite
na
interesting.
balitaan.
Okay.
So siguro today, they
Yeah.
will manifest on the floor
Oo.
or vote for Congressman Andaya to be the APRO. And
Yeah.
I heard that Congressman Castro will take over as the Majority Leader.
Oo. So that's quite strategic for Andaya to be moved to APRO committee chair.
Yeah, so he can chair.
Yes, the BICAM.
Yeah, and marshal his forces kung ano man yung pag-arguhan namin. But meron siyang sinasabing proposal, meron siyang system daw na i-introduce sa BICAM to make it more transparent.
Yeah.
Sa akin naman, ang counter-proposal ko, and I'm going to take this up during the BICAM, ako in-anticipate ko, I'm going to be a member.
Yeah.
What could be more transparent kung we make public all our amendments, individual amendments. Lahat ng changes na inintroduce natin do sa budget, Senate version and House version, i-matrix natin. Ito galing kay Congressman Andaya. Itong amendments na to galing kay Senator Lacson. And let's find out kung ano yung mga amendments na yon. My amendments has always been or have always been institutional. I make it a point na before I amend, I'm in consultation, close consultation with the agencies. Hindi ako yung whimsically, kailangan ko magpagawa ng kalsada rito sa lugar na to. So, lagyan mo ako ng 10 million dyan. Walang ganon. But others are doing that, without consulting with the agencies concerned. They just introduce their amendments to their own liking. No, yun ang whimsical, yun yung arbitrary na ang nangyayari, hindi ma-implement ng agencies. Why? Because they were not part of the planning. A case in point, I made Secretary Villar submit to us the list of all the projects
of DPWH
that I sought to be deleted. That's for 2018. Last year, merong 50.8 billion. Sabi ko, i-delete natin ito. Why? Because the description of the items, nakalagay doon, road construction, including right-of-way. And it's very clear in one of the special provisions na before a road construction shall commence, dapat settle yung ROW. Yun na nga yung nangyaring issue na, okay.
Pero binabaan mo pa ang right-of-way budget ng DPWH, nabasa ko. Parang you am I
upon their
correct?
suggestion.
Okay,
Because
kasi
hindi
20
na nagamit.
billion pesos nung una, and you found out that 7 billion remained unused.
And there's another 28.9 billion for ROW alone for the 2019.
So
ang tanong doon, can you implement that considering na behind schedule na sila? Yung list ng projects na pinadelete ko noon but they appealed na ma-restore. Sabi nila, no, nakalagay lang dyan including ROW, but we commit to you that the ROW issues are already resolved and kung hindi man, shall be resolved within the year. So, akala it ended there because I relented because I took their word. Okay, sabi ko, sige, di balik na lang natin 50.8. And then, pinapasyalan ko ngayon. So, randomly, we went to Batangas, we went to Cagayan de Oro.
You really did research
because
on the ground.
I wanted to satisfy myself that talagang settled yung right-of-way issues. And what did we find out? Houses in the middle of the road, or at least, houses in the middle of the road. So how can you use the road when there's a house right in the middle of the road? There are houses encroaching.
So it was not used because ideally, with the funds of the right-of-way, you should actually buy the house. I mean, give it to the owner, have it demolished so the owner can move.
And when we talk to the residents, to the claimants who were affected by the right-of-way issues, sabi nila, wala naman lumalapit sa amin, wala nakikipag-negotiate. So I discussed this during the interpellation, and after that was a Monday. After that Monday's interpellation, my first day of interpellation sa DPWH, sabi nila, nagkataon nagpuntahan doon yung mga taga Batangas. Sabi ko, baka pwede mag-usap na lang kayo sa office ko. And they talk. And then ngayon, binayaran na sila. In fact, this morning, those people are trooping to my office just to, sabi nung staff ko,
get the check.
No, just to thank me personally because they got the checks already.
Really?
Kaya naman
so
pala.
So the DPWH has the power, pag right-of-way, to write a check immediately to...
Not them, but Land Bank. But sila yung nagpo-process.
But in a way, to take you out of your house. If I'm happy with the price, they have that power.
Yeah, but the problem is, hindi man lang sila nakipag-usap do sa mga claimants. Now, remember, Karen, 2 years ago or last year, we had an investigation of the 8.6 billion peso right-of-way anomaly in General Santos. Fictitious claimants, fake titles. So, I'm even suspecting now, baka sinasadya ng ibang officials ng DPWH na pahirapan yung mga rightful claimants because they're, they plan something
on their own.
Para bang ito para sa sindikato. Siyempre, pag sindikato, kasama na rin sila.
Okay, very
That's
quickly.
8.6 billion.
Very quickly. Just quick questions. Should the DPWH, you feel, after discovering this, have its own division of people, personnel, just for right-of-way?
Yes, according to them, they already formed regional legal divisions just to attend to right-of-way
Okay.
claims.
Okay.
That's good. That's a good move.
All right. Quickly, how would you rate the performance of DPWH Secretary Mark Villar?
Well, based on what, yung mga big-ticket items na talagang nakatutok sila, ano yun, sabi nila, mga 90%, magandang accomplishments. But the items that we saw, na pinapadelete ko, alam mo yung physical accomplishment, 0.68%. Merong 0.00%. Merong 0.78%. Now, ito na nga sinasabi ko, magplano kayo, do the proper planning, and then sa slope protection, 75% may landslide. Bakit? Walang slope protection.
Okay.
Walang planning.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Hold that thought. I'll be asking Senator Panfilo Lacson on other issues. We'll continue with, can Secretary Jokno actually release the fourth tranche of the increase for government workers, and the accusation of Congressman Andaya that the DBM is supposedly bidding big ticket items from their sub-office. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Harmony, the beautiful interweaving of different elements into a singular experience. An experience that's diverse, yet cohesive, complete and perfectly balanced. From Arthaland, the best boutique developer in the Philippines, comes an innovative and sustainable office tower in Cebu, where harmony is not just a way of life, but a way of doing business.
She was able to eat anything she liked. But now everything she eats is tasteless. The solution is Appeton Wellness 60 Plus for seniors with difficulty eating.
Himingi tayo ng mga bottled water from the water company. Nauubos kasi yan and sometimes may delay. Pwede mo na siyang hilahin. For example, may calamity. As long as meron kang source ng water like swamp, river, pwede mo na siyang gamitin after niya ma-treat sa mobile water natin. So yung mobile water yun kasi na yun, itatap lang natin siya sa river. Tuloy-tuloy na yung pagkuha nila ng safe drinking water.
Welcome back. Still with us on Hot Copy. This is the second half. Senator Panfilo Lacson. Okay, some quick questions, sir. First of all, you weren't able to answer this. Does Secretary Jokno have the power to release the fourth tranche of the salary increases for government workers? He keeps saying no.
Yes, but he already caused the release of the fourth tranche for GOCCs and LGUs.
So pwede.
Anong diferensya nun? Especially GOCC and the national government employees. Pareho lang eh.
Pareho lang.
And there's 68.9 billion pesos in MPBF.
Oo.
Meron pa yun eh.
Oo. So technically, he can.
At saka re-enacted yun eh. Kung re-enacted, nandyan yung pondo. And you can, pagka re-enacted budget, you can implement the 2018 budget.
Oo.
Diba?
Now, quick question. Andaya claims his big expose is the fact that 168 billion pesos in big-ticket items are being bidded out in that small office under the DBM.
Merong government procurement office ang DBM. Pero ang ina-address na procurement doon, ito yung mga bond papers,
That's what Andaya
staplers, yung mga ganon.
Oo.
Yun, naiinis din kami because sa Senate, mas maganda pang kami mag-purchase kasi pag sa kanila kami nag-purchase, ang tagal dumating.
Oo.
No?
Oo.
At tapos minsan medyo iba yung presyo.
But never mind the bond paper. Can they actually
Pero malaki yun, ha? That's for the whole government.
Yeah, I know. But big-ticket projects, ito yung expose niya. Can the DBM do that?
No. It's only the agencies, implementing agencies that can bid out yung mga projects.
Okay. Another question is, do you believe Secretary Jokno should resign?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't believe that he should resign. Unang-una, the bottom line is, does he still enjoy the trust and confidence of the president? Well, if he does not anymore, and the president tells him that I don't trust you anymore, then that's the time for him to resign.
Okay. I asked Congressman Andaya this, and I told Congressman Andaya that there are talks, rumors abounding that actually House Speaker Arroyo was interested to be part of the economic team. I asked Andaya if this was part of his motivation. All right. Of course, he said that he spoke with Speaker Arroyo, and she said that she was uninterested and just wants to write her memoirs. Do you see that as a possibility?
Well, I heard rumors, but I cannot confirm. No, it's up to Speaker Arroyo and Congressman Andaya, and probably some other close allies to confirm or deny that. Okay,
all right. But you don't think, in effect, that Secretary Diokno should resign?
No. At this point in time, no. I don't.
Okay, road users tax. Both of you agree with the abolition of the road board. Both the House and the Senate. There's something like, I think, 45 or 46 billion pesos sitting there.
Yeah, I think 52 billion pa yun.
Is it 52? Where do you believe should it go?
To the GAA.
Completely.
It should be turned over to the National Treasury, and it should be the usage should be deliberated do sa budget.
This will be discussed in the BICAM still.
Mukhang paper BICAM na lang yan. Meaning formality na lang yan. Because nagkasundo na, there was an informal talk between Mig Subiri, the majority leader, and Ralph Recto and Congressman Andaya. Nagkasundo na sila doon. Na okay, abolish na yung road board, prepare na lang yung menu. Because in the law, merong specific yan eh. Na parang road repairs ng national, road repairs ng local, road safety, pollution, etc. etc. So yun na lang ayusin. But basically, nagkasundo na ipadala na sa National Treasury, turnover, and then yung succeeding mga deliberate sa budget.
Okay. Now, big story today, and I want to ask your opinion on this. I can't let you go without you sharing your thoughts, is the plebiscite. Okay, you've seen the bombing that has just occurred. There are some sectors, Cotabato alone is against it, and they said they've been harassed and pressured. What are your concerns about the plebiscite and the Bangsamoro Organic
First, my hope is maging successful, not only the plebiscite, but the years or the days and years after the plebiscite, after ma-ratify. Remember, there's so many dynamics involved here. Hindi ganun kasimple. This is just a little big step towards the attainment of peace and development in Mindanao. Number one dynamic is the 1996 peace agreement between the national government, MNLF. How would the government now address that peace agreement? Baliwala na lang ba yun? And remember, when we talk peace with Nur Miswari, the MNLF, umusbong itong MILF. Ang dapat i-address ng gobyerno kagad-agad, and I think the President is doing the right thing by calling out. In-invite niya na si Nur Miswari, let's talk. Parang that's an anticipation of possible conflicts. Another concern dito is yung, remember there's a block grant. That's 5% of the net internal revenue allotment ng Bureau collection ng BIR at saka ng Customs. That's huge.
That's like 60 billion. Am I correct?
Mga 70 ito.
70 billion.
Malaki ito. And on top of that, in-increase pa yung from 70% to 75% yung sa mga mineral resources. Now, yung mga amendments na introduce ko, yung sa PNP, of course, sa Defense and Security. Ang gusto initially ng MILF noon, sarili na lang yung police. Sabi ko, no, we cannot do that because meron tayong constitutional provision na national in scope ang PNP, ang police. So, while the Chief Minister should be consulted sa appointment ng Regional Director ng Police sa BOL or sa BARM area, tapos yung decommissioning, sabi nga, problema namin dito, I think Iqbal, I was talking in the sidelines while I was interpolating and amending. Ang sabi niya, yung decommissioning, how can we convince our troops na mag-decommission?
But that's their job.
Yes.
It's part of the agreement.
Ang sinabi ko na lang, okay, yung age and height, yung weight requirements, i-waive natin.
Oo.
Bigyan natin ng 5-year period na pwede silang pumasok, waive na lahat yon. Educational attainment, bigyan natin ng 15 years for them to catch up. Okay na ba yon? So they agreed. So yun ang naging final version do sa aspect ng defense and security.
Oo. Okay, but your big concern, what can go wrong?
Well, another breakaway group within the MILF, no, ang manggulo, or the group of the former MNLF, yun ang mag-create ng gulo.
Oo.
As what happened, kasi parang vicious cycle.
But are you worried also with the possible abuses of the MILF? Because we remember when the MNLF took over,
Ang
I
laking
mean,
pera rin
frankly, it
nun.
was a disappointment to
Yeah.
many people that Normis Waring had become your ordinary, traditional politician.
Yung doon sa peace agreement, di ba merong ZOPAD,
Yeah.
yung Zone of Peace and Development, na ang mag-implement doon, yung tinatawag na Southern Philippines Council for Peace and Development, yung SPCPD. So, ano nangyari? Wala namang masyadong development, ano? And nakita naman natin kung anong nangyari. Nag-deteriorate yung
Oo,
sa Mindanao.
oo.
Yung perang nilagak doon, hindi naman
Nasayang.
nagamit. Nasayang talaga.
Oo.
Napunta sa corruption,
Oo.
napunta sa misappropriation, napunta sa dito sa Metro Manila.
Yeah.
Kasi most of the time,
Oo.
the leaders of the MNLF then were staying in Metro Manila and enjoying life here.
Okay, so those are your concerns when it comes to the Bangsamoro Organic Law. My last question before we go. Among the senators today, considering you are in the majority, you've had the most interesting Twitter account, frankly. You've been the most vocal. Even if you are a supporter of President Duterte, you've also called him out on certain things. And very bluntly, I would have to say, I mean, his attacks on God, the Catholic Church, and other things. So, people may ask, and they may not able to read you, majority senators don't usually do this. Why do you do it? And are you planning to run for president in 2022?
I react according to my conscience. Kung tingin kong ginagawa ang sinabi
And
ng Presidente mali.
you have no fears of President Duterte because you do have some majority senators that are quite cautious.
Well, I know that the President will understand my position. Ano? And in fact, in one of the meetings that we had in Davao, no, recent ito,
Oo.
parang all of a sudden, he blurted out, kaya itong si Ping, pag kinikriticize ako, pero okay lang, parang natetemper din, parang, so, sa kanya, pag constructive, okay. Siguro, ang ayaw niya lang yung, maski ano lang gawin ko, mali na, which is also wrong. You know, in one of the meetings among Cavaliers,
Yeah,
mga Cavalier legislators, I even told Gary Alejano,
Yeah.
Gary, sabi ko, alam mo, paminsan-minsan naman, pag obvious na tama yung ginawa ng Presidente, medyo suportahan mo naman. Sabi ko, hindi yung lahat na lang ng sabihin, lahat ng gawin, as far as you and Senator Trillanes are concerned, and the opposition,
Yeah.
lahat mali na. So, I think the President will appreciate it more kung maging parang objective yung criticism instead of too personal and too parang subjective. Di ba?
Okay, so